Monday, Chaf Hey, Sivan, Tovshin Ayin Gimel. We are in Teres Menachem Sefer HaMamorim, Tovshin Yud Aleph, Tovshin Yud Beis. We are in the last Mamar of Tovshin Yud Aleph, Shabbos Parshas Nitzavim, Chaf Ches Elul, Hey Tovshin Yud Aleph, Mamar Atem Nitzavim. We're on page Kuf Lamed Dalid, and we are about 10 lines from the top, is it? Or 9 lines?
The line begins.
The line begins with Efshar. We're at the full stop, the Hine. The Rebbe here is explaining that one of the main components, or the main component of Avodas Hashem, the person serving Hashem, is to draw down the divine lights into the divine vessels, into the kelim. And the Rebbe began to explain that Eiris and kelim, which are the two components making up the spheres, are opposites. Eir is Gilui, revelation, and kelim are Helam, withholding. Eir is in a mode of obvious cleaving to its source. Kelim is in a mode of non-obvious cleaving to its source. And nonetheless, they fuse together to form a sphera, a divine attribute, and to function. How does that happen? So the Rebbe explains an additional component in which the Eiris and the Kelim seem to be opposing each other is the fact that the Eir, the light, the energy, the giving force, has this characteristic that it's constantly drawn to its source, upwards, metaphorically speaking. Whereas the Kelim don't have that characteristic. They're Helam, concealment. Nonetheless, they fuse together and they function as one. How does that happen? That is because the Eir detects the unique quality possessed within the Keli, and therefore it is drawn to the Keli. And at the same time, the Eir, being that it's a force of revelation, wherever it comes, it reveals. So therefore, when it comes into the Keli, it reveals the unique quality of the Keli to the Keli as well. In other words, the Keli itself, the Keli itself is unaware of its unique quality. The Eir reveals to the Keli, also to the Keli, its unique quality. So therefore, the Eir is drawn to the Keli because of the unique quality possessed in the Keli, and the Keli is happy to receive the Eir within it. What is the unique quality possessed within the Keli that the Eir does not possess? What is the unique quality possessed within the Kli, in the vessel, that the Eir detects, that the energy, the light detects, as a result of which it's drawn to it? Before we go further and learn it inside, perhaps just to say a couple of words as an introduction, it'll be easier to understand. What underscores a greater quality of Hashem? The fact that there are divine revelations that can come from Him, or the fact that He created this physical world? If you remember, we learned in Bossi Lagani, in the first Maimer, that there's a quote in Bossi Lagani where he quotes from Tanya. That it is not possible to say that the ultimate purpose of creation are the upper realms, because that is a descent from Hashem's great light. So therefore, we must say the ultimate purpose of creation is what? This physical world. To use more concise terminology, in the upper realms, in the revelations, in Atzilus, in Ein Sof, God's infinite light, Giluyim, those are Giluyim. Those are revelations, manifestations of Hashem. Where does the very essence of Hashem express itself? In Elam Hazat, in this physical realm. In other words, when we use the term Boirei, creator, what are we referring to? Ultimately. Bria, as the Ramban says, and other Mepharshim say, is the idea of Bria Yesh Me'ayin, something from nothing, ex nihilo. Meaning to say, the lowest form of being possible. A being that feels itself as an independent entity. Where is that most pronounced? In our physical world. And the ultimate purpose of creation is our physical world. It's here that Hashem desires to have a dwelling place for himself. And it is ultimately here that the very essence of Hashem is revealed. In the upper realms, it doesn't happen. To create a Metzias Yesh, an entity of a Yesh, as we know it in our physical world, that is only B'koyach Atzmos, that's within the power of Hashem himself. Koyach HaGvul, the power to limit. Let's use another term. Let's take it a step further. The power to conceal, right? That is far more deeply rooted in the very essence of Hashem than the power to reveal. Take Ein Sof. Take Ein Sof, God's infinite light. That's already a step down, as it were, from the very essence of Hashem. Ein Sof is blikvul. It could give and shine without limit. But it cannot create a Metzias Yesh. You will not get the existence of a Yesh as we know it in our physical world from Ein Sof. That you get from the very essence of Hashem. And for that, which necessitates what? Koyach HaGvul, Koyach HaHelem. It necessitates a force to withhold. It necessitates a force that conceals revelation in order for Metzias Yesh to come into being. Because what is Yesh, as we know it? An entity was created that shouts out naturally, innately, there is no God, Kavyochel, so to speak. Right? Gilui, since revelation, there is never that gap. It's constantly connected to its source, as the Rebbe said before. Therefore, at any stage, higher level, lower level, you'll always have this idea that it's godly. It comes from Hashem. In a revealed way, in order for there to be an existence that on the surface seems that it's not an expression of Hashem, you need a force that conceals godliness. Who has the ability? Where does that force to conceal come from? From the very essence of Hashem. In other terms, when you look at Hashem, the very essence of Hashem, there is nothing that precedes him. There is nothing that creates him. The coarsest manifestation of that is something that shouts out, there is nothing that created me. That's Elam Hazah Gashmi, this physical world. That's the ultimate expression of the very essence of Hashem, obviously concealing its connection to Hashem. Where does that come from? That comes from the power to withhold revelation. That comes from the power to conceal godliness. So therefore, who has that quality more? Or who possesses that quality at all? The Oyer or the Kli? The Kli. So therefore, the Kli possesses a unique quality that the Oyer does not possess, which is what? A greater expression, a greater, if you will, in this sense, a greater relationship with the very essence of Hashem. And the Oyer desires to have benefit of that quality, to be associated with that quality. Therefore, it feels that it wants to fuse with the Kli. And when it comes into the Kli, it reveals within the Kli that quality. And that's how the Oyer and the Kli function together in harmony. Notwithstanding the fact that innately they are what? They are opposing forces. This is a force of giving, and this is a force of withholding. Let's try it inside now. The Hinei. Ha'oir hu b'bechinas gili. The Oyer, the light, is in a mode of revelation. V'lachein b'chol inyan sheha'oir nimshachei lav. Therefore, in anything that the Oyer is drawn into, Harehu margish, he feels V'gam megala boy, and also reveals within him es ma'alosei, its quality. Since it is something which is something innately, which is a force of revealing, it illuminates everything. Therefore, wherever it comes, it illuminates that realm that it enters into. Therefore, it feels the unique qualities of that which it has entered into, which it has been drawn into. And it also reveals within the realm that it has been drawn into, within that realm, it reveals the special quality of that realm. This is also the reason why the Oir detects and feels the special quality of the Kli of the vessel. The quality on the surface, not only on the surface. What is the idea of the Kli of the vessel? The idea of concealing. What is the unique quality that it possesses? What is the unique quality of the Kli? The Kli is rooted in God's ability not to shine, not to illuminate, to withhold illumination. It has a greater force than the power to reveal, than the power to shine. Right? So that's the unique quality that the Kli possesses. Now, what about the Kli? Why do we need the Oir to reveal this quality in the Kli? Why doesn't the Kli, the vessel, feel its quality on its own? However, the vessel on its own, since the vessel, once it's become a Kli, not as this withholding forces within the very essence of Hashem, but rather as it has come down as an independent existence, as a Kli, as a vessel. Since it is in a mode of concealment, and its relationship with its source is with an undetectable cleaving, is in a mode of undetectable cleaving, the Yosef b'chinas Helem b'chinas Dveik is built in the Keres, therefore ein malos in the Geshes boy, therefore once it becomes a Kli, its quality, its own quality, is not felt within it. It's not aware of its own quality. It's specifically the light, the revealing force, since the whole idea, the whole being, and the whole existence of the Oir is what? It's an entity, it's an existence of revelation. Therefore, it illuminates everything, including also what? The special quality of the vessel. Not only that, it also reveals this special quality within the Kli, and makes the Kli, the vessel, aware of its own quality, which the Kli on its own does not feel because of the fact that it's a withholding and concealing force. And it's in a mode of undetectable cleaving to its source. And because of this, through this, it is possible for there to be the combination, the combining, the bonding of the lights with the vessels, both mitzad ha'oir, from the perspective of the light, of the giving force, it can fuse with the Kli, notwithstanding the fact that the Kli is an opposing force to it, a withholding force. V'gam mitzad ha'kli. And also from the perspective of whom? Of the vessel, it can also receive and happily fuses with what? With the Oir. Why? Not only because the Oir reveals, the light reveals its unique quality that it possesses, the Rebbe adds another point. What is the mode in which a Kli functions, a vessel functions? It's bittul. It's nullified. It allows itself to be, it allows itself to receive. In other words, if the Kli would be in a state of non-bittul, it wouldn't allow the Oir in. In order for the Kli to allow, in order for the Oir, the light, to be able to enter into the Kli, in order for the Mekabel, the receiver, the receptacle, right, to be able to receive that which is given to it, it needs to be in a state of bittul. It needs to set itself aside and allow something else to function through it, right? To enter into it. So since the Kli possesses this idea, this characteristic of bittul, of nullification, hainu, what does it mean that it possesses this idea of nullification? Hainu, shu batul l'chol davar shu eine Kli, alt was is oiser Kli. It is nullified before anything that is not Kli, anything that's outside the Kli or greater than the Kli. Or bifrat, and particularly l'ha'oir, it's particularly bottle, nullified, or beholden, as it were, to the light. Why? Shegila bayis malasai, who revealed within it its special quality, and the fact that the oil revealed within the kli, the light revealed within the kli, within the vessel, its special, unique quality, that causes the kli to be grateful to the oil, in a sense, to be bottled to the oil, to be nullified before the oil. Why? Because on its own, the kli is in a mode of concealment, and it's specifically the light that has revealed with it in its unique quality. Therefore, it's in a state of greater nullification before whom? Before the light, before this giving force. Therefore, there could also be the fusion, the bonding of the lights with the vessels, also from the perspective of the kli, from the perspective of the vessel. So this, in short, is the reason why, notwithstanding the fact that Eir and Kli are opposing forces, this is a giving and revealing force, and this is a withholding and concealing force. Nevertheless, they bond together, and they fuse together, and they function as one, to form a sphira, to form a divine attribute. In the next part, we're going to learn about how this relationship works. They're opposing forces, and they bond together. Okay, how does that function? Does that function by one overpowering the other? Does the Eir overwhelm the Kli in order for there to be revelation? Does the Kli overpower the Eir in order to regulate and withhold? Or do they operate in harmony?
What's the triggering factor?
That's what we're going to discuss in the next Ois going forward.